Thanks very much, Senior Counsel, for coming back. Honorable members, let me put this matter to you in this way, that there are two members of this committee, Honorable Shikeleng and Honorable Skosana, by General Sibiya and his lawyers, that the two members have respectively laid criminal complaints against Minister Mkhunu, General Sibiya, and Mr. Nkabinde in Cape Town and Brooklyn, respectively. So that matter has been brought to the attention of the individual members in the committee. And the Democratic Alliance has come here and announced that Honorable Shikeleng has been replaced by Honorable Thorpe. And now we are left with the matter Skosana. And before I rotate the matter for discussions, can I check, Senior Counsel, is there anything that you want to say?
No, Chair, I was hoping it could be resolved in a matter that avoids me having to look. You've asked me for a view. I've given a view. I think it goes to the heart of fundamental fairness. I was hoping on Friday, when I interacted with the two members concerned privately, that it could also be resolved on that basis. So this is a bit unfortunate.
Okay. Thank you so much. Can I start with the African National Congress, or maybe let's give the MK party first to speak on the matter, and we understand how they view it before we rotate it for discussion.
Yeah, no, thank you once again, Chair. Chair, we are not happy with how the Senior Counsel is approaching this matter. He is not giving any direction. That is number one. He has just narrated the events. That so-and-so opened the case on this date and so on, and says it is up to this committee to make a decision. We can know where we premise our discussions. I asked, what is an issue here? Is an issue about a conflict of interest? Because if the issue is a conflict of interest, then let us argue from that point. The Senior Counsel just narrates events. He does not cite the law. He does not cite any legal principle that will guide us in this context. The same thing he did when we were discussing the Honorable Barnard matter. He kept quiet. We did not receive any legal advice from him regarding that matter. Whereas he was employed to advise this committee inter alia during the course of its work. Give us legal advice so that we do everything in accordance with the relevant laws. Now, he just narrates like a layperson to say so-and-so went to a police station, he opened the case, then the committee must decide. He is throwing you, Chairperson, to the deep end, because you will make wrong summaries and wrong determinations for this committee which are not in line with the law. As a legal advisor, as the starting point, he must say, this is what the law says in this regard. Then the committee can argue from that perspective, not from a perspective of narrating events that have been narrated. That thing can be done by anyone. It can be done even by a 6-year-old to say Skhosana on this date went and opened the case, then the committee must decide. He's an aspect here. He must play his role. Secondly, Chair, we have said that even on the question of a conflict of interest, it does not arise in this point because Skhosana is not a witness before this committee. He went to the police on behalf of the MK party, not on behalf of his family, not on his behalf to lay charges against General Sibiya. So if you say on those bases he must be recused, it means you are saying the MK party must be recused. Now the question is, if we were dealing with an ordinary committee here, the the portfolio committee on police, what was going to be the case? Because these matters have been accounted for even before the portfolio committee on police, these matters, after the case was opened by Skhosana. So it means you are going to say Skhosana must not play his constitutional responsibility as an MP of doing oversight because he opened the case falling in a different arm of the state. The police. Parliament is doing its work here as Parliament. We're doing our own investigation, which is not going to be influenced by how the police have investigated this matter. Because we're not only investigating General Sibiya here, we are also investigating the police holistically. So we don't know what is it that we are actually dealing with here. And the senior counsel is not helping this committee, Chairperson. If anything, he is just exacerbating our problems. He comes here and speaks like a layman and say, this is what happened, then you must decide. What does the law say? So that we can argue it from that. If we can approach our lawyers now and say there's an issue in the committee, we will have nothing to say because there is absolutely nothing that is put before us to say here is a crisis. Like we argued the case of Honorable Barnard, that in our view, his continued stay in this committee constitute a conflict of interest. So, Chairperson, we are not sure of what we are discussing here, and in our view, the senior counsel is not doing justice for this committee. He's just exacerbating confusions, and we think he can do better than that. Maybe let's afford him an opportunity to tell us about the law, to say these are the legal principles that are guiding us in this context, and here is my advice as a legal advisor. Thank you very much.
The ANC.
Thanks, Chair. I think to a larger extent, the point that is made by the MK part, I was hoping that before we intervene as other parties, you may allow the senior counsel to properly motivate the argument that he has advanced in terms of it being and then we can come in. We do have a view on this matter, but on the legal issues, we think that if he's drawing our attention to any legal matters, we should allow him first, and then we can come in. Thanks.
Okay, I take that point. Senior counsel. Okay, Honorable Breitenbach.
Thank you. Chair, perhaps I may be wrong, but My understanding of this situation is this, that Mr. Arendse and his two junior counsel, they're the evidence leaders. They're not here as legal advisors to Parliament. Parliament's legal advisors are here. Their job is to supply the committee with legal advice. It's not the job of Mr. Arendse to supply the committee with legal advice. If you want a legal opinion from him, you'll have to brief him and pay him extra. I understand him to be here as an evidence leader, and the role of an evidence leader is completely different to that of somebody giving you legal advice. If we as a committee want legal advice on a position, we must ask Parliament for the legal advice. That's why they're here. Thank you.
If we,
No, I think, Chair, okay, it may very well be that in terms of how we've been interacting here, we have been looking at the senior counsel and the team almost interchangeably with our legal team, because right from the beginning, when we started our work, the understanding was the parliamentary team. Now, I have no problem with Honorable Bredelbach's argument, Glenis's argument that no, that's not what they are meant for, and I don't want us to spend time on that. This is what I want to suggest. I think firstly, we would like to suggest that firstly, we want to welcome the decision of the DA to withdraw one of their members on the basis of the court case that has been opened, notwithstanding the fact that the court case may very well be a DA court case as opposed to an individual court case. But the mere fact that the member who happened to participate in that case is one of our own, it therefore suffices that they've taken the correct decision on that matter. Secondly, and I would want to assume that our view as the ANC is that that decision may have not necessarily dependent on certain legal principles, but rather understanding the fairness that has got to unfold in the committee like ourselves when we're interacting with the witnesses. Now, I want to propose, Chair, two things. The first one is that the parliamentary legal team should look at this matter, even if they don't advise us now. We are allowed to proceed now with Honorable Skosana in attendance, while we allow them to go and look at the matter and advise us whether there are any legal grounds for him to be recused. However, in an event where his name pops up in the presentation by the witness who's coming here, in the context of him having or being expected later on to answer to certain things that are going to arise from the presentation, we should then agree in principle that we will treat him in the same way that we've treated others. But in terms of the legal standing of his participation here and now, I suggest that we defer that to and proceed with an understanding that will be advised later on whether or not he actually qualifies to remain in the committee. That's our submission as the ANC. Thanks.
is there anybody who is opposed to that that view? Okay. The DA, can I see if the Democratic Alliance wants to take a bite on the proposal?
Chair, we'd like to see the committee move along.
Okay.
So we have no difficulty with the proposal.
Chair, we as a committee, and yourself, Chair, we've delayed the issue unnecessarily from day one when we raised the issue of conflict. And we delayed it. The House decided that after the first witness, we will relook at the matter of conflict. after the first witness, I wrote to you. We spoke face to face. You delayed it even further and said we will discuss it in detail this coming Wednesday. Now we're sitting with a similar issue because we didn't make a decision on it. And even in the last meeting, online meeting, virtual meeting, it was agreed that there will be a legal opinion on the matter. Now, we must.
Honorable Souls.
Are you recognizing the?
No. I want to say to you that you are an honorable member of this parliament. And this committee is a committee of person who is not a member of parliament. You must not be distracted. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you, Chair. It's just, I was looking at you and you were looking at the
This is a parliamentary proceeding.
So as I was saying, if we dealt with it and we got the legal opinion in the beginning, we would now not have the need for this proposal. Why I disagree with the proposal, because we have to have that legal opinion already. Then the MKP says that the matter or the criminal case was opened against General Sibiya by Honorable Kosana, but not in his individual capacity, but as a party. If it was in his individual capacity, I would then have proposed Rule 163 of our rules, that they can co-opt someone else when the witnesses who is involved in that case are here. But now that it's the entire party on the record, the entire party must recuse themselves for when the witness.
Yeah, but you see.
But let me finish.
Just to hold you there, I don't want you to debate the merits and the demerits, because the proposal of the Chief Whip is that General Sibiya is already here. If we want to discuss, like you said, the chair said, we will itemize all those matters for Wednesday. We will discuss them. But for now, what we should do, for me, is to check if all of you agree with this proposal.
No, but that's unfair, Chair, because before the proposal of the Chief Whip made that proposal when it was the Chief Whip's the issue. And then in his input, the Chief Whip then proposed. Now I'm only expected to deal with the proposal and not give my input, but everyone else before me gave their input. I need to be allowed to give my input on the matter.
It's okay. If you want to give that background, you can do, but,
I have to.
But where I stand, I would persuade you to talk that all of you will still be given a chance to raise the views that you have around the matter. But for now, because he's proposing that we subject this matter to a legal opinion.
Chair, I'm saying that the position we have on the MKP on conflict, from day one, we had the same position on the DA on conflict. It's not only the MKP that is conflicted here. The entire 4 members that the DA has given initially is conflicted. All 4. Today we find out that the one member that's now being removed by the DA, it's not something beautiful. The Honorable Member Breitenbach said that they knew about this. She opened the case some time ago. So when they fielded her, they knew about the conflict of interest. Removing her today is not something beautiful. It is just proving that they intentionally knew about conflict, allowed the Honorable Member. But all four of them are conflicted. 3 out of the 4 needs to be witnesses. So now I'm saying, when we decide on MKP, we must also decide on DA. DA, the entire members of DA is conflicted.
Yes, Honorable Source, I hear you see what we must do, Honorable Members. Let us direct ourselves to, I know you are politicians and you are political parties. You know, political parties, they like sniping at each other.
No, Chair, point of order. I'm not sniping at anybody. I'm raising facts. Honorable Barnard, we've spoken about it. The witness, our terms of reference says, any allegation that the main witness, that General Mkhwanazi raises, and anyone implicated, we must investigate. General Mkhwanazi implicated Honorable Barnard, he implicated Honorable Cameron, he implicated Honorable Breitenbach. That's 3. Today, the DA lets us know that Honorable Schickling has opened up a criminal case and therefore there is bias. So therefore she's removed. These are facts. I'm not sniping at any party. This thing that when it comes to corruption, it has a black face. When it comes to those who must hold them accountable, it's only a white face. The 3 out of the DA that is implicated by General Mkhwanazi must be alleged part in political interference into the work of the police. We must interrogate that. If we're not going to be fair, then we can't expect the same from MKP. So I disagree with the proposal and I say we must look into conflict for MKP and the DA. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Vessels, can I check, Honorable members from the DA, do you want to speak before? Because from here, I'm going to give the MKP to reply and then we must go on with the proceedings. I mean, can I check, okay. From Vessels, DA, do you want to speak?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, you know,
Yes, if you want to speak, hold it there. I just want to know to.
Well, we'll wait.
Honorable Sangoni, would you want to speak or what the Chief Whip said is fine with yourselves?
Yes, and then we'd want to come back. Thank you.
Okay. So we are going to do like this is Honorable Vessels, Honorable Breitenbach, and then Honorable Nomvalo. And delay, you must come closer to me.
Thank you, Chairperson. Obviously, one has an opinion on this matter, but I think the proposal is progressive. Let's move on. Let's get a legal opinion, and let's discuss the issue on, I think, Wednesday when we have a meeting that we can discuss household issues. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Breitenbach.
Thanks, Chair. I would like to suggest to the Honourable Sauls that he be a little more circumspect in the use of the word implicate. We will go with the proposal of the ANC Chief Whip, just to get the matter moving along. The meeting on Wednesday, as you well know, I cannot attend for previously arranged reasons. since the Honourable Cameron won't be there, so the Honourable Klopper will present your argument on Wednesday. Thank you.
Okay. The MKP.
Chair, we disagree with the proposal. If you take that decision on this issue, because it cannot be that you can do on the left what you can't do on the right. When we're faced with the most critical issue in this committee, involving a member of this committee who was implicated by the testimony made by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, there was never a call for a legal advice. Where does this call come from? Because the senior counsel does not do what we task him to do, to say, what is the issue here? Take us through. He's not doing that. And we say, out of nothing, let us have a legal advice. Because there's absolutely nothing that is a crisis that has been put before us, except narrating events of who opened the case, when, and for what. So, Chairperson, we don't have confidence already in that team, because they kept quiet. They had, with what Honorable Breiterbach is saying. The senior counsel has a task of advising this committee. If that was not the case, he would not have raised the matter he's raising now. He would have come here in this committee and led the evidence, if he does not have a responsibility to advise the committee. So it means he has acted virus, if we were to go according to what Honorable Breiterbach is saying. The problem with what he has done is microwaved legal advice, which is not enough, with no legal principles, a whole senior counsel. So, Chair, we disagree with this. If the committee takes that decision, take it on your own, we will consult our legal team, because we know the legal advice that will be given by on this matter. Thank you.
Look, no, I'm not going to give any member time to speak. You know, if you get triggered by what other members are saying, we will not finish. We will discuss this matter the whole day.
Point of order, Chair.
Point of order, Honorable Source, is taken.
Not taking input on the issue. I just wanted to say that we have asked for a legal opinion. So it's not true that there's no legal opinion. That legal opinion should be here now so that we can have an answer to the issue. Because if we're going to allow a witness to sit there and be questioned by people who has a matter against him, it's not fair. His constitutional rights is being infringed upon because he's not having a fair trial. So there should have been a legal opinion already now, because we've requested it when we addressed the issue of honorable, instead of postponing this session for a legal opinion. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Andile.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. Good afternoon to the honorable members, and greetings to my colleagues as well. Chair, for us, this is a fairly simple matter because it is not the first time that a committee of parliament is confronted, with this question. And I think, Chair, if you look at the rules, you will agree with me that the rules do not, and I personally, Chair, I think there's a reason for that. And the reason is a simple one, is that you can't subject members of parliament to the requirements of independence or impartiality. If you read 5.1 of our terms of reference, it says This committee is neither a judicial or sorry. It says, let me just read it. 5.1 under the format of the inquiry. And I think this begins from the second sentence. It is neither a judicial or quasi-judicial process, nor is it an adversarial process. Yeah, okay, I'll just stop there. So Chairperson, this committee does not perform a judicial or adjudicative function. Its function is merely to inquire. If you are speaking about a decision in a technical legal sense, this committee won't be making any decisions. It will just report that which it has done, to the House. And of course, the House will have to take a decision whether they agree with the report of the committee as well. So, of course, Chairperson, it would be undesirable for any member of the committee to participate in its inquiry into the conduct of the member concerned. And if I listen to the conspectors of facts, Chairperson, the members who are talking about are not under investigation. I know, I'm not aware that, these members were investigating them. And of course, a member should not sit in judgment of his or her own conduct. I agree with that. But the mere fact that a member, of a committee has expressed strong views or has particular knowledge of matters under investigation does not. So we're not a court, Chair. We're not sitting as a court. That's my view. And of course, members of parliament, I know I'm repeating myself, to subject them to requirements of independence and impartiality. That's not correct, Chairperson. Chairperson, I'll leave it there up until maybe there are, follow-up questions. Thanks.
Look, this is what we are going to do, honorable members. Number one, I'm going to make a request to you. Our focus must be on the matter for discussion. Because we spent a lot of time making political statements, veering away from the matter at issue. And that takes our time. Number two, I want you as honorable members to understand that we are a constitutional democracy. That is what we are in terms of architect. Mr. Tejana has read a clause in our terms of reference. And that clause that he has read, I believe it must also be read in context with the rules of parliament. And the rules of parliament must also be subjected to the supremacy of the law in this country. The matter has been raised by ourselves as members. And all what we are saying here has not been put to test. And maybe before I come back to this matter to tell you how we're going to move forward, let me go back to the matter of the senior counsel. This senior counsel is not a senior counsel of parliament. This committee is a committee of parliament which runs in terms of the rules that we ourselves as members of parliament have adopted. Our conduct as members of parliament. Don't throw that matter to the senior counsel. It is not his matter. You may have whatever feelings you have about him, but let's not draw him to matters that are not within his or the ambience of his work. Please. He has been unnecessarily attacked. The attack on him is unjustifiable, and we must desist from doing that. So there is a provision in Rule 165 of the rules. I don't know if that provision is with integrity. But Andile is right. You know, when we are members of parliament, the reason why and the chief whip has said it here, that it's very difficult to legislate on morality. But the reason why you are called an honorable member, it's not just a cheap tag that you get on the streets, honorable Lakhanyane. They call you an honorable member because there is a huge expectation on your part to be exemplary in everything that you do. But unfortunately, we cannot legislate on morality, and our rules are silent on matters like this one. So, in more than one occasion, said, just try it one day and mention my name, you will see. You will no longer see me sitting here. It's a moral stand. I don't have to discuss it with anybody. It's about my morality as a person. And it cannot even be commuted to anybody. And we cannot even try and persuade anybody to have that kind of understanding. But then what we will do, honorable members, is that we are going to allow General Sibiya to come here and make a presentation. And during their presentation, where there is information that comes out that implicates the member, or a statement is made to the extent that the witness expresses their unhappiness with the presence of the member, that is where we are going to have a problem. And number two, because this committee is a committee of parliament, and attention has to be brought to the office of the Speaker. In the parliament that you lead, there is an ad hoc committee comprising of the following members. And in the evidence presented so far, there are the names of these members that continue or that are being mentioned. And then the office of the Speaker as the leader of parliament will then have to lead us in that regard. So I'm not going to open this matter for a debate now.
Just a point of clarity, please, Chair. I just want to be clear. Clarity, please.
Yeah,
just to be clear, to understand, did the legal advice, is the legal advice saying that there's no requirement for us to be impartial? And Chair, you are agreeing with that? Just for clarity, so I have an understanding.
No, let's put the issue of the legal advice aside. Because if there is a legal advice, the legal advice must come from the office of the Speaker. That is what the Chief Whip has said here. Go and seek legal advice. So the leader of this parliament is the Speaker, and the rules enjoin us to report every happen. Senior Counsel.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, honorable members. Yeah, just in addition to what Andile drew attention to, I think it's important to draw attention to the following terms of reference that binds this committee. The first is at paragraph 1.6. It says the Committee of Parliament that holds a public inquiry for purposes of reporting and is obliged to do so in accordance with, but not limited to, the fundamental principles of the rule of law, legality, rationality, procedural fairness, and justice, ensuring that its procedure and report adheres thereto. Then at 1.7, the committee agrees to conduct the inquiry in accordance with the provisions of these terms of reference, which are based on the aforesaid principles.
Yeah.
Then
there is nothing wrong with what you are saying, Senior Counsel. If you listened, I said that the rules of Parliament that we have and the terms of reference and the Constitution of the Republic have to be read together if you want to make a proper interpretation of that.
And then, Chair, at the same 5.8, 5.8.1, where is this? Where is that rule that you? There's again a reference to, and can I just say, 5.1,
Chairperson? Chair?
can I just say,
Chairperson?
lastly, 5.1,
Chairperson, I'm calling an order on you, Chair.
Okay, Honorable
Chair, you have just said a few minutes ago, the legal counsel does not have a right to advise this committee. It can only be advised by the Speaker. The reason why this meeting is on hold is because of the advice that he has initially given to us. 2, you are allowing him to proceed with his legal advices, and we will demand our right of reply. Because it can't just be left hanging. If he's advising us on the direction that we must take, we must also deliberate. If you say he has no right to advise us, he can only lead evidence, as it has been said by the Honorable Breitenbach. So be it. We can't be found wanting because we don't know exactly what he's doing now. Is he advising us, or what is happening here, Chairperson?
But
and I think we are creating more confusion.
Listen here, Honorable Nomvalo. The Senior Counsel has raised a matter here to the attention of the committee. And that can never be equated to him giving us a legal advice. He came here and said, I want you to note as the committee that you have the following members of your committee who are being mentioned in a letter that has been sent to you by General Sibiya's lawyers. That's what the senior council did. And the enfilade on the senior council must stop. Honorable members to continue to attack the senior
Point of order, Chair. I think I respected the Chair. When I've been raising my hand, you are not pointing me. Chair, abantu base South Africa right now, bawomela ukukhuluma noBaba Sibiya bazi ukuthi uyaganga or akaganga. Let's stop wasting time where Chief Whip has also given it direction. That's in phambili kanjani. You, Chair, are wasting time now, continuously allowing this matter to continue. He has given advice. If it's not an advice, what is it? So, Chair, I'm asking my plea to you, Chair, before you speak, with all respect, can we kindly respect South Africans now that we take this matter as Andile has spoken? It will be dead on that Wednesday deliberation, and we don't accept it. But we have a Wednesday to talk about that matter. For now, can we put South African first? Can you be a chair? Niyasabu kulma chair right now, because the first time I spoke, I told you you are not running the committee correctly, and on time alternates and all those things. But can I tell you this time around, Chair, you are not steering this committee right at this moment. Please protect South Africans, give South Africans the respect you've always given them. Asiyeke le ndaba sizoyikhuluma ngolesithathu, uyezwe lesithathu. Life, it's totally different. Ubhanadu ugangile la baba la mama le wathatha ithombo enika abantu afaka impilo amaphoyisa enkingeni. It's totally different with a person othunywe umkhonto wesizwe to open a case. Totally different. You are still failing to see that clear. Implicated and umuntu othunyiwe.
Look, I did not expect you to debate the matter. I expected you to raise the point of order. That point of order is ruled out, because if you want to say the chair does not recognize you, I said when I noted the hands, I said to you guys, I'm going to give the MKP chance to reply. No, we don't run a meeting like that. And if you are unhappy with the chair, do not attack the chairperson and say the chairperson is not running the meeting. We have been running these proceedings from the first day under very difficult circumstances, but we are where we are today. And I'm going to plead with you, honorable members. We have to be calm if we are going to make this committee to work. We have to be calm. There is nothing that will stop us from doing our work. The only thing which will defeat us is the attitude that we bring to the meeting and our proceedings. Honorable Vessels.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I think we should be fair. The senior counsel brought that is his prerogative. It is his due diligence to do, because we have to disclose a possible perception of a conflict of interest. That's not advice, but Chairperson, let's move on, please.
Do you want to speak, Honorable Skosana? Do you think it's fair to speak on a matter where your name is subject of discussion?
Yeah, in fact, I just want. It's about me. I'm not going to comment on this, but I just wanted to support my colleague to say you're giving advice. He's giving advice. The fact of the matter is that he's giving advice. And you said the proposal was that Andile, like Honorable Brechenbach was saying, the Andile is from the Parliamentary Legal Service. He has mentioned what must happen. But now we are debating that with the SC. I mean, with the SC, our evidence leader. I don't think it's fair. In other words, we are saying, I don't want to go to the merits to say, it's wrong for Umkhonto Wesizwe Party to open a case against anyone in this country. Therefore, it means Umkhonto Wesizwe won't be able to participate debate in Parliament when this matter is going to be debated.
But you are going back to debate the issue that,
Thank you, Chair.
that we have.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to highlight that the SC is giving legal advice. It's not giving any other thing. It's not questioning the witness. It's arguing that MKP should not be here. It's not about me. This is not a private matter. Umkhonto weSizwe has opened a case.
I want to know.
Thank you, Chair.
You still need some time to talk on this matter that involves your name.
No, Chair, I'll listen. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable members, we have concluded this item. Like we have said, it will still be discussed in the Speaker of Parliament. Committees of Parliament report to the Speaker on the work that they do. And the Chief Whip is right in his proposal when he says Parliament will have to get a legal opinion on this matter, because this is a matter which has to do with the rights of the citizens of this country. So let's conclude it that way. And I want to thank you for your participation in the discussions. And where you might have said things during the discussions that you may regret, when you are alone, just inform yourself that I regret what I would have said. I could have said regrets. Just inform yourself. That is how you become a better person. Let me check if I must give you a 9 minutes break, and so that we reorganize ourselves with General Sibiya. Will come back at 22:1. Yeah. Thank you so much.
This I have not responded because it's still in my head. You see, how do I attend to it? Same as manga, but I'm fully we qualify among the psychiatrists are declaring. And then because I think it won't be a once of something that you might need for discussion. The moment they don't send around.
You heard my the first are not the same. Because I would imagine you going to come maybe not the important that's why I say parliamentary table. We must agree to proceed. Or not, they must go and check whether it's perfect. Yeah. And I qualify by saying, unless it makes up which will also be taken then we can decide the way we want it. But at the moment, they are not the same. What of the process that I decide is fair to say left behind right. So that is why I was like, it's only fair to say the parliamentary what you do with if a matter is like this, and it was also one that would okay, give us time for people. Manje angazi kwani innovation ngoba na one innovation which was but
No, until the 1960, I will just stop out in terms of the law, in terms of the current. That's what you said. That's what you said. That is fine. Yeah. Even if we push the money, because we don't want at the end of our way, somebody says that's a legal challenge. On a matter that is simple and effective. Oh, I mean, I would understand when I'm paying for my city. If there are allegations that and there is a particular matter you don't say anything because you have a defect. Because you open the case. Yeah. Yeah. Because no, you would holistically ask people will come here. Or send them to here. You know, that's another way to bring like the right. Now they protect them. I am Zoala. Yeah, Zoala, they are also telling you as well. Yeah, Zoala. Yeah. Yes. That's one.
Thank you so much, honorable members, and welcome back, General Sibiya. We have now done our housekeeping, which did not need you. And I think we are ready to proceed. Honorable members and our participants here, there is this ownerless cell phone. Yeah. The cell phone is ownerless, so any person who wants to claim to be an owner will have to documents. Yeah. Okay. We are now going to do like this. The General Sibiya, welcome. This is the procedure which we are going to take. We are going to start by administering oath. And then thereafter, our evidence leader and his team, Advocate Arensen, will then lead you in the statement that you have deposed here with us. Let me say the following to you, that you have been invited to appear before the Lt Gen Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, so that you provide information in relation to the Ad Hoc Committee's oversight work in investigating these allegations, which include, amongst others, the alleged unlawful disbandment of the Political Killings Task Team, the PKT team, alleged moratorium on the filling of vacancies within the South African Police Services, SAPS, and alleged corrupt relationship between senior leadership within SAPS and members of the public, as well as political interference in the work of the SAPS. In extending this invitation, the Ad Hoc Committee chairperson has indicated that you may provide such information to the committee if you so wish, under oath, in terms of the powers, privileges, and immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act. You have indicated that you wish to take the oath so as to be afforded the protections as provided in the Powers and Privileges Act 2004. Please be informed that by law you are required to answer fully and satisfactorily all the questions lawfully put to you, or to produce any document that you are required to produce in connection with the subject matter of the inquiry, notwithstanding the fact that the answer or the document could incriminate you or damages. You are, however, protected in that evidence given under oath or affirmation before a house or committee may not be used against you in any court or place outside Parliament, except in criminal proceedings concerning a charge of perjury or a charge relating to the evidence or documents required in these proceedings. Please be aware that in terms of Section 17, subsection 2 of the powers, privileges, and immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act, a person who will fully furnishes a house or committee with information or makes a statement before it which is false or misleading, commits an offense and is liable to a fine or to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 2 years. You are required to take an oath or affirm that the evidence you are about to give is truthful. You may choose to take the oath or the affirmation. Which one do you prefer, General Sibiya?
I'll take an oath.
To take oath, you will then, I will then read the following, and then you will repeat. You will mention your full names and say, I swear that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I, Shadrack Sibiya, I swear that the evidence that I shall give shall be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you so much, General Sibiya. I'm now handing over to Senior Counsel Advocate Arendse to start the engagements with you. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you, Chair.
Good afternoon, General.
Afternoon.
We were supposed to start this morning, but it's afternoon. Anyway, thank you for your attendance, and thank you and your team, your legal team, for the cooperation that we've received in the past few weeks. And also more recently, some additional documents that have become available. Honorable Chair, as I indicated, these documents are being printed and will become available during the course of, and if I may, with your leave and honorable members' leave, refer occasionally to some of those documents as I ask the witness questions. General, just by way of introduction, is there anything briefly that you want to say or mention to the Honourable Committee?
And thank you, Chair and Honourable Members. Just to find out in relation to the fact that before we broke, Chair, there was a discussion that was the concern that we raised in relation to one of the honourable members in relation to his participation in these proceedings, considering the fact that the honourable member is a complainant in a member that led to a search and seizure at my house, and at the same time I have to come and account before the same parliamentary member as well. So as far as I'm concerned, there's a conflict of interest. I just want to be led by Parliament and advised with all the utmost respect. I just need to be guided by Parliament, by the Chair, by this House, as to what is the final verdict, so that I can also take legal advice from my team and then take it from the Chair. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you so much, General. And I want to thank you for your courage to raise the matter. We are a committee of Parliament that runs in accordance with the rules that Parliament has adopted. And the rules that we have do not empower us to take any decision regarding the participation or the membership of members to committees. The only recourse that we have as a committee is to write to the Speaker of Parliament and alert that office about any other matter that would have arisen in relation to any member of the committees of Parliament. So we will accordingly bring the matters to the attention of the office of the Speaker of Parliament.
Am I allowed to take legal advice? And if the chair say no, I'm 100% ready to proceed, but I just want to get, because I'm trying to remain within the rules, and also not for Parliament to think that because there's a better way of, maybe from my side of my legal team, to be able to express it better than I can, if it is allowed. But if the chair says no, let's proceed. I'm ready, Chair. But it is my humble request that I be given an opportunity to hear, or for my legal team to be allowed to actually express my concern more in a legal form, if it is allowed.
In terms of the terms of reference that we have passed, we have said that you have a right to consult with your lawyers, but when you come here to our proceedings, your lawyers may not represent you in our proceedings. And if you, for instance, say, I want to consult with my lawyers and hear, it's not for you to tell us what they are saying. Remember, it's your right to consultation. And if you come back and say, no, I have consulted with my lawyers, let's proceed. Yeah, I don't think we can deny you that right to consult your lawyer.
Just 2 minutes, Chair.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good, Chair. I'm ready, Chair.
When you say you are ready, you mean we can proceed?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Senior Counsel.
Thank you, Honourable Chair, and thank you, General Sibiya. We have discussed with you the topics that we intend to follow, that you have in your witness statement. So I'm not going to ask you to read your statement. We've discussed that. Save for where you wish specifically either to read from your statement or I've also indicated to you that given evidence that has already been given now by Lt Gen Mkhwanazi and General Masemola, General Masemola being the more recent, that I will also from time to time put to you any adverse comment or comments that they made for you to give a response. I've discussed with you and your team that because our procedure is different to that of the Nhlanhla Commission, and we only have you, as it were, here today, I will take the opportunity of occasionally putting a contrary version to you for your comment. And you and your team have accepted that that's in order with you. In fact, you welcome the opportunity of putting your side of the story, as it were, before the Honourable Committee and people of this country. As a reference, we look at the Minister's directive, your involvement or knowledge, if any, of the political killings task team prior to the Minister's directive and subsequently the control and custody of dockets and the removal of PKTT dockets. We look at alleged political interference, alleged factionalism in SEPS. So broadly, those will be the themes that we will follow, but let's start on a more personal note. Your witness statement begins with your employment with SEPS over a number of years. And if we go to, it starts at paragraph 10 on page 7. This is your career path, which at paragraph 11 you'll see on the 2nd of January 1989. So it's quite a long career in SEPS, and where you have progressed to the most senior levels within SEPS. I want to just ask you, just for purposes of distinguishing between what we have today and what you currently work with and experience, just to discuss briefly your appointment to the director Directorate of Special Operations, which you discuss, which you refer to at paragraph 13. You established the Northern Cape and Free State offices in 2004, and where you appointed the Special Chief Investigator until the Scorpions disbandment in 2009. So briefly, just describe for us your experience with the Scorpions, what your own views were on their effectiveness, etc.
Thank you, Chair. Just before I continue, Chair, in response to my short meeting with my legal team, I'm advised that I will proceed. I'm proceeding, but I must note or indicate rather that I do so under protest, Chair, in case at the ultimate end, because I will be participating in a process that I believe could be tainted. Thank you very much. Chair, starting from my career path, Chair, I'm appointed as the Deputy National Commissioner and I'm responsible for crime detection. And I've been employed by the police since the 2nd of January, 1989. And I rose through the ranks, starting from where I was deployed in Knysna as a constable. And in December, I was also appointed as the head of the General Desk of Internationally Missing and Wanted Person at Interpol. I obtained my national diploma in police administration in 1996 at Technicon SA, and I also obtained my BTech degree in policing through UNISA in 2008. I'm currently registered for Masters in Arts in Criminal Justice in UNISA. In 2001, I joined the Directorate of Special Operations, colloquially known as the Scorpions, and I was based at head office of the Scorpions at the NPA BGM. Then whilst I was there, I was one of the people who were sent to the Eastern Cape. When the Eastern Cape were hit by a spate of corruption and corrupt activities in the Eastern Cape, I'm one of the people who were sent down there to go and fight corruption and maladministration in the Eastern Cape for a number of years. I was subsequently referred to head office as a project manager responsible for the Eastern Cape and Free State region. I was running those projects for those provinces. In and around 2004, I myself, together with Advocate Moleboheng Mdalana Maisela, who is now a judge, we were sent to Free State, the two of us, to go and establish the office of the Scorpions that was to be responsible for both Northern Cape and the Free State. And following this, then leading to my appointment as the Chief Special Investigator in 2005. Then in 2009, the Scorpions were disbanded. I was then sent to police service, but then I indicated that my interest is more in fighting organized crime, and then I was sent to organized crime at head office. When I arrived at the Scorpion head office, at the South African Police Service head office, at the DPCI, the Hawks head office, at that point in time, because we were just arriving from the Scorpions, there was not much because there was no posts really allocated. I started a unit. It was a task team called Tactical Operations Management Section that dealt with serious and violent crimes, including cash in transit, ATM bombings, serious and violent murders. And this is a team that at some point between 2010, 2011, 2012, it was mostly dealing with cash in transit and ATM bombings. And I'm quite sure members can recall, because there was a point where even we were counting with Parliament in terms of the kingpins that were involved in the cash in transit that we have identified and that we were addressing. Parliament was even doing a countdown with us until 0, and for a long period of time, at some point, cash in transit became quiet because of that intervention that I was leading, to an extent that the same team that I formed today, it was actually within the structure of the DPCI. I was then approached and promoted to become the Deputy Provincial Commissioner of Gauteng, responsible for the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, which is the DPCI in Gauteng. And then members will realize that it is at a time when the management of the South African Police Service decided to bring General Petros from Western Cape, who was doing well here in the Western Cape. They sent him to Gauteng because Gauteng was under pressure. When you look at the provinces, Western Cape was always #1, but Gauteng was #9 in terms of the crime fighting. As you fight crime, you check on the provinces which one is doing well and which one is not, is really suffering. General Petros was taken to Gauteng, and then in such a way that Gauteng became #1, no longer #9. I was there also with General Petros running the DPCI in Gauteng. And members and Chair, it is at that point in time when I was approached to conduct an investigation on the former Divisional Commissioner of Crime Intelligence, General Richard Mdluli. And I put the team together that were running the investigation, leading to the arrest of Richard Mdluli. And it is at that point in time that I actually made a lot of enemies within crime intelligence sector. Many cases were opened against me, and to an extent that even when they brought in General Nhlanhla, suspended me, immediately charged me for fraud and corruption, on fraudulent kilometer claim, including the illegal rendition of the Zimbabweans. I was charged for the illegal rendition of the Zimbabwean. And when you look at the people who actually were involved in the arresting of those Zimbabweans, all of those people who were arrested by crime intelligence. And crime intelligence were even given or awarded letters of commendation, but I'm the one who was charged for illegal rendition. I got charged for fraudulent kilometer claim. When we got to court before a magistrate, the magistrate asked the prosecutor, "Why did you charge this man?" The prosecutor says, into the court record, the records are there with the voices of the prosecutor saying what I'm saying that I know there was no case, but I was instructed to put the matter on the court roll. Now, Chair and members, this took me almost 7 years to fight this thing to return back to the police, having been dismissed for crime I did not commit, which is the similar situation I'm facing now.
Sorry, General, just following that sequence of your employment, so the time lapse between your employment with SET re-employment on the 1st of July, when you returned as the component head of organized crime. Prior to that, you were employed by the city of Joburg.
That's correct, Chair.
That period of employment, was that following the charges and the finding of guilty from Major General Mkhwanazi, the charges he brought against you?
That is correct, Chair.
So and your employment at the city of Joburg, some would describe it as your departure there somewhat controversial.
May I respond, Chair?
Yes.
The challenge my dismissal all the way. From the start, after the suspension, the judges in all the courts that ruled in this matter, they ruled in my favor to an extent that General Nhlanhla was, the judge said that he's a dishonest person who lacks honor and integrity. And as a result of that, the Helen Suzman Foundation and the Freedom Under Law, they took the matter to court for General Nhlanhla to be released. So now, but the fact is I was already fired. I had to follow the labor law, the labor relations process, and which took quite some time. Now, I have won the cases, and now I was at home. I was looking for a job, and an opportunity came from the city of Joburg. I applied like many others, and then I was employed by the city of Joburg. Now, I was employed day long, and I participated like any other normal employee. I accounted before the committees, all the oversight bodies. So there is no any other environment that is actually regulated more than like the city. The systems put in place, everything that gets approved by the council. I was appointed officially so, and even when that was challenged, it was investigated by the public protector. I was cleared by the public protector. We've got the public protector report that I can refer to. Chair, you will help me here. Was the way we pegged my. We've got the public protector report in the bundle, Chair. I will just.
No, it's not there, but it's
Yeah.
fine. So you were appointed by the city of Joburg, but you had also left there.
I left.
Well, what was the circumstances of your departure there?
Because of the fact that I joined the police when I was 20 years, and today I'm 50. Because I had no job at that point in time. But the moment the Labour Court appeal gave me the result that says you are being reinstated with effect from the 1st of July, I went back to the South African Parliament.
Oh, okay. So that explains your re-employment. It wasn't even a re-employment with SAPS. It was a reinstatement.
Reinstatement, as if I never left.
So the Labour Court found that you had been unfairly dismissed, unfairly treated.
Unfairly and substantially and procedurally dismissed.
And the primary remedy for the Labour Court in cases of unfair dismissal is always reinstatement.
It's reinstatement, and I was supposed to actually be paid for the difference for the whole 5 years, 6 years I was out. But because I was already employed, it cannot be, because it's being looked at as double dipping. So the court said, no, we'll only reimburse you for the period you were unemployed, but for this other one, you were already employed, so we can't pay you since then.
So your reinstatement at SAPS on 1 July 2022 into the role of component head of organized crime in the rank of Major General, was that equivalent to the role you had occupied at the time of your dismissal?
Yes, I was a Major General, and when I was reinstated, I felt that I really don't need to fight for a position and say I was the head of the DPC. I can be deployed anywhere in the South African Police Service, and that is what I said to the management, that I'm just happy to be here, to be back, and I can be deployed. And then I was deployed at the head office as a component head responsible for organized crime.
And then just about a year later, so that was quite quick, you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant General, the rank you hold now.
Yes.
And you were appointed as the Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection. Who appointed you?
The National Commissioner.
And just describe briefly what is the for crime detection and which other sections or divisions fall under you in that role?
Chair, in short, let me start here to say that it was not within a very short space of time. Remember, it was a reinstatement since I became a general in 2010. Stretches up until 2023, which is how many years? From 2010 to 2023.
13 years.
I was a general, Major General. That's when I got promoted to. So it's quite a number of years. And my job is as a Deputy National Commissioner. In short, is to provide executive direction on crime detection matters within the direction of on the effective investigation of crime on all levels of intelligence service for the South African Police Service. I also ensure the strategic direction with regards to the investigation of crime as set out in the South African Police Service Act 1995, inclusive of the application of forensic science and maintenance of criminal records on all criminal justice systems. I ensure strategic direction with regards to the investigation of crime within the detectives.
So you have oversight over specialized investigative divisions, the forensic services, and all intelligence-led policing initiatives.
That is correct, Chair and members. I had two divisions reporting to me, which is detective forensics and crime intelligence. Under the detective forensics, you will have your components. And the components that you will have your family violence, child protection, and sexual offenses. You will also have component that deals with crime investigation service. You will also have a serious and violent crime investigation. You will have your organized crime investigation. You have your criminal records and crime scene commercial crime. Now, when it comes to crime intelligence, you have intelligence collection services. You also have intelligence analysis and coordination, operational intelligence support, counter and security intelligence. Now, this is the structure that I had when I was leading the when I as a Deputy National Commissioner. However, there's a new structure that has been approved that changes crime intelligence to report to the National Commissioner, and that separates detective and forensics In others, you have detectives, divisional commissioner, and you also have forensic science laboratory as another division. So you still have two divisions. The two divisions that were clubbed together, detectives and forensic. There now is detectives and there's also forensics. Intelligence reporting to the National Commissioner.
Can I direct your attention to the core bundle? Chair, that's the Honourable Chair, that's the bundle that's not in front of you and Honourable committee members because we're having it printed. That page 34, that's where it starts. It's an information note. At the time, it was addressed to the acting National Commissioner. I think this was in 2015. 5 November 2015. And at the time, I see the acting National Commissioner was J.K. Pashlani. Can I ask you to turn to page 39 and 40? And at the bottom of page 39, reads background to the establishment of the post of Deputy National Commissioner. At the time, the Minister of Safety and Security. The scheme established 4 posts of Deputy National Commissioner and required the National Commissioner to appoint the 4 Deputy National Commissioners subject to the directions of the Minister. So in your case, were you appointed by National Commissioner Masemola?
That is correct, Chair.
And that would have been at the time when the Minister was Minister Tele.
That is correct, Chair.
Your appointment, was there any particular process that was followed?
Is the normal process that is being followed in the appointment of all senior managers that are at head office. You notified, and there is a regulation that is being followed in appointing such senior managers.
So were you must it be the case that you were identified by the National Commissioner Masemola at the time?
That is correct.
As suited for this job?
That is correct.
And it's with the approval of the Minister at the time, Bheki Cele.
That is correct.
And this is what the document reads. These posts were established to enable the National Commissioner to discharge his responsibilities, exercise his powers, and perform his functions and duties effectively. And then just over the page, maybe I should ask you to read this. It's on page 40. This is your mandate. Have you got it there?
Yes, sure.
If you want to read it.
Yes. The responsibilities, powers, functions, and duties of the National Commissioner that are related to one another and related to the same environment were appointed in respect of each environment to discharge the responsibilities, exercise the powers, and perform the functions and duties of the National Commissioner on behalf of the National Commissioner in respect of the specific environment for which he or she was appointed in accordance with the national policing policy determined by the Minister of Police and subject to any direction issued by the Minister of Police and subject to the command and control of the National Commissioner.
So how do you interpret that, and we'll deal a bit in more detail with the Minister's Directive. You wanna speak?
Paragraph 4 says, since the relevant Deputy National Commissioner exercises the powers and performs the functions and duties on behalf of the National Commissioner,
Yeah.
the National Commissioner is by law deemed to have exercised the powers and perform the functions and duties himself. All members, including divisional commissioners and provincial commissioners, are accordingly bound thereby. So, in terms of delegation number 1 of the document entitled Delegation of Powers and Authorization to Perform Duties, the Deputy National Commissioner, South African Police Service, approved on 19 January 2012 Act for the service or act in any legal capacity on behalf of the service was delegated to a functionary at the level of Deputy National Commissioner. This means that a Deputy National Commissioner may exercise any act that has legal consequences for the service within his or her sphere of responsibility. The National Commissioner may assign certain functions to a Deputy National Commissioner within a sphere of policing possibility of the DNC and finalize the matters. For example, the Deputy National Commissioner Corporate Service may be assigned to approve certain appointments. So this is the document that gives powers to the appointment of the Deputy National Commissioner, and it specifies the functions of the Deputy National Commissioner, because as was mentioned by the previous witness, General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, he said if the National Commissioner is alone, and for him to be able to run the whole country alone, it will be a much impossible task. So the structure allows for the National Commissioner to appoint some managers that will be able to assist him to run the country. The same applies to in the province. You also have a provincial commissioner who will have deputy provincial commissioners. At head office nationally, you will have the national commissioner who will have deputy national commissioners. Thank you, Chair.
Let me use the language of the mandate in relation to the responsibilities and functions in respect of the specific environment for which you were appointed in terms of this policy, and that would be national crime detection, forensic services, and intelligence-led policing initiatives. You had full authority to exercise those powers for and on behalf of the National Commissioner.
That is correct.
Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Although it does say in this subparagraph 6 on page 41 of the core bundle,
that is correct,
to perform functions and duties himself or overturn any decision taken by the relevant Deputy National Commissioner in the exercise of such powers.
That is correct. That is correct.
Now, although 7 goes on to refer to certain powers that may not be delegated, that relates to him being the accounting officer, such as the power to cordon off an area and the power to suspend without remuneration, that you don't have those powers.
That is
but
correct.
all the other powers of the National Commissioner, you may exercise it, provided it falls within your sphere of responsibility.
Yes, for an example, I cannot wake up tomorrow and employ a certain person. It's not within my powers. I cannot wake up tomorrow discussed with the National Commissioner. There are things that you can do. There are things that you cannot do that falls within your powers, and you can't accept the powers of the National Commissioner at any given moment. Operationally, you can run the way you can, but there comes a point where you need to go sit down with him and say, National Commissioner, I was thinking of doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Will you be comfortable with it? And then he will say yes or no. Once he say no, it's no.
So within your sphere or those 3 spheres of responsibility, where would Brigadier General Khumalo, where would he fit into all of this?
General Khumalo is a divisional commissioner. He's one of the divisional commissioner that reports to me. In other words, as the Deputy National Commissioner responsible for crime detection. Crime detection consists of forensics, now not in the newly approved structure because it was just recently now changed. But all along, since my appointment, it was crime intelligence and detective and forensics. So which means crime intelligence, General Khumalo was reporting to me.
And in relation to Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, the same document, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, at page 43, deals with the appointment of a provincial commissioner, which of course is the national commissioner with the concurrence of the provincial executive in terms of sections 207(3) of the Constitution. And then the mandate reads as follows: a provincial commissioner reports directly to the national commissioner on all matters and to the relevant deputy national commissioner and divisional commissioner on matters resorting within the sphere of responsibility of the specific deputy national commissioner or divisional commissioner. Now, the question that flows from this is the political killings task team. Did that fall within the sphere of responsibility allocated to you in terms of your appointment as a deputy national commissioner?
It's supposed to, but that was not the case, but it's supposed to.
Oh, okay. Where did the political killings task team resort under? Under whose jurisdiction? Under who?
It should be under detectives because we are talking about investigative work. Everybody who's there is investigation or investigators. It's about murder cases that have been committed. They get investigated. And once you're talking investigation, you're talking about crime detection. But in this case, there was a different, so to put it, a very weird arrangement where you find a political killing task team. They will say to you, this is a task team that uses members of the detectives, most of them, that reports to or are project managed by Lieutenant General Khumalo, who is in crime intelligence. And that also reports to the provincial commissioner. Yes, it is acceptable, of course, that because the provincial commissioner is responsible for the province. In other words, the provincial commissioner is responsible for crime and policing in the province. But the reason why I say it was a weird type of arrangement is that you have a task team, but that has got only 4 people or 5 people that should know, or that are supposed to know what is going on in the task team. It will be the minister, General Kumalo, project manager, General Lebeya to a certain extent, the former head of the DPCI, because he was mostly not so much active in it. But as far as I'm concerned, if I'm the Deputy National Commissioner that is responsible for detectives in general, intelligence as well, and I've got a top secret clearance certificate, I need to know and understand why can't I be entrusted with knowing what this team is doing? What is it that they are busy with? And what is secretive about what they are doing that I, as a Deputy National Commissioner, am not allowed to know?
So can I ask you this? You were then appointed in July of 23 already, discussing in this inquiry. Relates to what Lt Gen Mkhwanazi said at the media briefing on the 6th of July. And of course, the focus of that was the political killings task. What did you learn or know about the political killings task team as of July 2023 when you assumed the post of Deputy National Commissioner for Specialized Investigative Division, Forensic Services, and Intelligence-led Policing?
Chair, I just want to get to my bandwidth. Which paragraph are we, Chair?
Sorry, Jen.
Which paragraph are we at in my statement?
It's I think paragraph 50 will help you.
50.
Yes, forgive me, General, I'm sometimes jumping a bit all over the place because you address your involvement and knowledge of the operations of the PKTT on page 18 from paragraph 49 onwards.
Yes, Chair. I was aware of the PKTT that was established to focus on political killings. But I was also aware of the PKTT that were at times assigned on matters that are really not PKTT related. In other words, when the National Commissioner feels that we need such a team at such a point, he will then also deploy it. Because they were a multidisciplinary team that has all the relevant expertise within the team. However, I'm of the view that when I look at it, the PKTT as a task team, and that is only and mainly focusing on KZN, it's a cause for concern. When you look at the PKTT and the way they were constructed, I can tell you that we have other political killings throughout the country that are not being attended by the PKTT. And I can give you a clear example if we were to go to page 145 of the core bundle. When you look at the key, when you look at,
Sorry, General. Yeah, just Honorable Chair, honourable members, just to remind you again, this reference to the core bundle is the bundle you don't have before you. Will be made available. The reference here is general. This is from page 145. This is an information note. It runs to 148. It's dated the 4th of January 2024.
That is correct.
Sorry. Honourable Chair, I believe the bundle is available on SharePoint for those who can access SharePoint. Oh, it is now in front of the honourable members. So I'm referring to page 144 of the core bundle. We call it the core bundle. There's two. There's a bundle that's attached to the statement, and then there's another separate bundle, which is a core bundle. That's the bundle we received from General Sibiya's team yesterday. So, General, this document is submitted by you on the 4th of January 2024, and it's called a feedback report multidisciplinary investigation team on municipality killings cases in Mpumalanga from 19 January 23 to 31 March 3. And then there's also a reference to some. So what was the purpose of this document?
Here,
why did you,
honourable members, this is a clear indication that these are political matters from a municipality, and they were not dealt with by the PKTT. And you can see that we are talking about your matters that were committed like around about the 2023 cases and 2022. Now I'm looking at, it says on the 19th of January 2023, the National Office established a task team to assist on the matter. The purpose was to assist on the investigation in all political matters at the Mpumalanga province. The task team comprised of 4 members, namely, I'm not going to mention the names of the members, and the docket collected and investigated are as follows. We have Mzinoni case number 09/05/20.
okay, if we can just go through, it's Mzinoni, Petratif,
or Mzinoni,
just PR, Tonga. But your point is that this is a document which shows political killings taking place in Mpumalanga
and other parts of the country.
And other parts of the country. And was this also being investigated in what is referred to as a multidisciplinary way,
beefed up as the PKTT? Because this one, you have to extinguish fire somewhere, you have to put a team together that must go deal with the situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Chair.
Now, you would have been perhaps tied up in court, or you may have still been unemployed. Or, no, you would have been employed by the city of Joburg. You were employed of the political killings task team. The first announcement by the president in 2018, and the subsequent establishment of this task team. So that would have been in 2018 already in May, and then pass forward. You are appointed in 2022, and when you come into office, this task team has now been established. Now, you would have attended these, I think they, how many times a year? 4 times a year, the Board of Commissioners meetings.
The Board of Commissioners meetings, yes, I attended.
You would, even though it's the statute says it's National Commissioner and the Provincial Commissioners. We understand from General Masemola that other deputy National Commissioners also attended that meeting.
Yes, if the National Commissioner is not there, I have chaired 2 of those meetings.
So, so my question is, were political killings task team matters, were they ever discussed at any of these meetings?
No, I don't remember discussing, unless maybe something that slipped my mind, but in those meetings, in the Board of Commissioners meeting, there are a lot of issues that are being discussed there. And it is possible that you will have a topic where such is being discussed, unless maybe something that has slipped my mind.
Or maybe tell us what would typically be on the agenda of these Board of Commissioners meetings? Surely matters of national importance.
Yeah, it's matters of national importance where the National Commissioner needs to consult with the Provincial Commissioners. And then as the top management of the police, then the decision is taken there. And then once the Board of Commissioners, especially the Provincial Commissioner, also are buying into what is being discussed there, then there are those that passes the what is being discussed and approved there, then it's approved.
So as the Section 10, I think, of the Police Act says, it's not a decision-making body, but it's a consultative body.
That's correct.
And where you discuss matters of cooperation.
That's correct.
So that you don't cross your lines, stay in your lane, that kind of thing. Now, did Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi at any stage, to your recollection, raise the issue of the political killings task teams at such a forum?
Chair, I've never had an opportunity to be favored with the minutes of the meetings, but I don't remember him raising it in a forum like that. I don't remember that part.
Before the 6th of July, when would the last Board of Commissioners meeting have taken place?
Before the 6th of July,
this year, 2025.
Yeah, I think the very last one was chaired by myself. The Board of Commissioners meeting before the 6th of July. So I don't have the date here with me.
No. when you were appointed in 2022, the minister was Bheki Cele.
That's correct, Chair.
And then in 2024, was it? July 2024, a new minister was appointed.
Yes,
And so,
that's correct.
how would you describe your relationship with Minister Mkhwanazi?
It's a relationship between a minister and one of the senior managers of the police. Like all of us, we were accounting to the National Commissioner, and we all get calls, or maybe get taskings. There was a standard arrangement and agreement that, look, if the minister calls you, you can't say no, but do let me know as the National Commissioner. But do go, but let me know. This is how it works.
Before you, or rather, what was your reaction when he was appointed?
Who?
When Minister Mkhwanazi was appointed?
Well, Chair, when a new minister is appointed, we all sitting with bated breath. We don't know what is coming with, and we don't know what if he comes and say, I need a new team and I need new people. So we're all waiting to hear what is next. We're all waiting to hear, to be addressed, and we all sat down in the boardroom, and they came, they addressed us all, and they indicated that now we have confidence in you guys. We're going to give all of you an opportunity. We want to work with you. We are here. We are part of the team. Let's work. And they gave everyone an assurance that, guys, do your work. As long as you do your work.
Before his appointment in July 2024, did you know Minister Mkhwanazi?
No, I didn't know. It was the first time I met him.
Sorry, did you say not really or
No,
not at all?
It was the first time I met him. It was the first time I met him.
So when he was appointed or after he was appointed, when would you have met him for the first time?
There was a meeting that was arranged at the boardroom of the minister, the top management of the police, where we went. It was the deputy ministers and the national commissioner and the deputies. I think even the divisional commissioners were there.
And I suppose you would have just had a briefing or general discussion with him. But as the year proceeded, 2024, after July 2024, there would have been more sort of focused discussions on various areas within the South African police services to, as it were, bring him up to speed.
Yeah, as they gained momentum and with all the deputies gain speed, and as we gain speed, you get more engaged in a lot of different issues. There was a number of issues like the signing of the memorandum of understanding with the stakeholders. It will be a lot of meetings with the people like the cash industry. Why do we have cash in transit? Why do we have this? And let's meet these ones. Let's meet with the metros. Let's do this. Let's do that. So there's a whole lot of things that were taking place with the minister and the national commissioner, the whole management.
Did you in any of these engagements discuss the political killings task team?
No, because to me, the political task team, I was not involved in the political task team. So it was a door that was closed that we never really worried ourselves with going forward.
So someone like the Lt Gen Major General Khumalo,
Khumalo is a lieutenant general. We've got a major general as well, and we've got a lieutenant general, lieutenant colonel.
So Lieutenant General Khumalo, who, in terms of the document, delegation of authorities, powers, functions document, and the SEPS organogram, he resorts under you as the Deputy National Commissioner.
Then,
Did he ever account to you about what the political killing stars team was doing?
no. There's only one time where he wrote a letter requesting for a meeting with the following senior managers. Then he named them all. And the purpose was to say, look, he was in need of resources, detectives, because apparently some of the detectives that he used to use, they went back to their respective stations. So he read a letter where in that meeting. I think I once attended another one in KZN. I'm not so sure about it, but I've never participated. If ever I attended the meetings 1 or 2 times. Is that one? This other one was more about the resources, but that one, it was the first time I attended. I think the minister was there, and even the National Commissioner confirmed it and said that there's one meeting that he attended, but the rest I never attended.
And what was your relationship with Mkhwanazi, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi?
I must say, I've had a good working relationship with General Mkhwanazi for years. And there was no issue at all. The only issue came just after the arrest of AKA. It came just after the arrest of AKA. I participated in the as the team were planning, and even in my case,
for doing this. The general is talking about an arrest of AKA. I'm not sure if should we take it that automatically he's referring to the arrest of the alleged murderers of AKA. So maybe if that can be, we don't want to assume that he's talking about what we think he's talking about, because he's referring to an arrest of AKA.
Or whether he assumes that we all know what AKA.
my apology, Chair and member.
We're not joking about it. It's a very sensitive matter. We just saying that for the purpose of our records. If we can say everything for what it is. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair, and my apology, honorable members. That is where the different big issue. After the arrest of those that were involved, now we were somewhere in Cape Town with in an operation. It was Minister Kele then, but the minister came, approached me and said, "Tell me, are you sure the people that were arrested are the right people?" And I said, "I'm quite sure, Minister," because I was involved in the process. I said, "I'm quite sure." He said, "Can I have the team to brief me? Because I am the one who's going to be asked also in other forums, especially the media." I said, "That can be arranged, Minister. Let me arrange it right away." I then contacted the province. Now, in contacting the province, I contacted the Deputy Provincial Commissioner of KZN. Yes, it is indeed true that I was supposed to actually contact the provincial commissioner as the provincial commissioner of KZN. But I contacted the deputy provincial commissioner simply because of we have been having a good relationship with Gen Mkhwanazi. I never thought he will actually make a big issue out of it. The main reason was normally when I contact him, you find that he is busy in a meeting, he's chairing land or is with someone else. Then I would then call the next person who I think can assist. The process, the intention was just to try and make sure that there's not going to be any delay. Now, and I said, can you please arrange with the team members and also inform the provincial commissioner? That was General Mkhwanazi at the province. General Mkhwanazi later came to me and said, hey, General, can you please call the PC yourself because he's not impressed? I said, okay. And I called the PC with all the confidence that I had because I knew we had the relationship, me and him. And then when he responded, he was fuming. He was very angry. And he said, la, Sibiya, hey, General, you're not going to phone my province and order my people around. And I said, whoa, General, we are not fighting. Nobody's fighting, please. Let's not go there. He says, you call my people here and you instruct them, you tell them that the minister they must come to head office and I don't know about that thing. I said, no, General, I'm apologizing, but I just wanted to carry out the instructions. That is what he said. He said, but when he said, you go tell the minister that I say, I also didn't take it kind that, but we are all trained members of the South African police, and we grew up within the discipline of the police. And from a student, you get trained who must salute who must stand up when who comes in, who must actually salute, who must greet who, how. Now, the way he's heavy and talking to me in an aggressive manner, his tone was very heavy. I didn't take it kind myself. Then I said, but General, when you order me now and say I must go tell the minister that you are ordering me around now, and in fact, it wasn't meant to be like that. I'm your senior for you to talk to me the way. Then he said, oh, I don't know where you're coming with this thing of you being a senior. Then he dropped the phone. Then he followed me with a very long message that tells me that he's appointed in terms of the constitution, and then I'm appointed in terms of the police regulation, and then he's responsible for policing in KZN. From now onwards, you've got nothing to do with KZN. And now I'm being banned by them operating nationally. When you call meetings to discuss the project at head office, his people are not there. KZN is beginning to suffer. The project are not there. The cash in transit people want to know. Cash in transit is high in KZN. We've got hitmen in KZN. We've got the drugs at the harbors. We've got a lot of crime. We've got the people burning the trucks. We've got a number of issues that were happening in KZN, and yet we need to intervene from head office, and then there's no relationship. So KZN was suffering. So it was a question of we need to fix this relationship so that at least crime does not suffer. That is how it happened.
Is that your reference to what you say in paragraph 111 of your statement, page 34?
Yes.
And what was that date?
I don't have the date, Chair. The date in which I can simply say it is the AKA arrest. It was on the day the people were arrested. Because what happened? It was an anniversary. It was almost a year after the murder of AKA. And the spokesperson comes and say, the media wants to know what is going on. It's almost a year and there's nothing that is happening on the arrest of the AKAs. So what must I tell the media? At the same time, that's when I started getting involved too much with the team and say, guys, now it's all in our name and now we are being disgraced here. Now what is going on? How can we assist? How can we support that we trace these people? Then we arranged a meeting with the team. And then myself and the National Commissioner, we flew to Durban. We met the team with the provincial, the acting provincial commissioner, if I remember. But there was a team there and the prosecutor that was involved. We met at the airport. And then we agreed that they will actually arrest because we knew where the people are and who was involved. And they agreed they were going to arrest, and they arrested.
So, can you recall whether this was before, also with the minister present? That was it in May this year?
No, that one of AKA, it was more of, it was Minister Kyle.
Sorry?
It was Minister Kyle at that time. Yeah. And this other one of May, it was Minister Senzo Mkhunu.
Yeah, I'm talking about that meeting.
What about yes, Chair?
Were the two of you in a meeting?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of that meeting? What was discussed at it?
The mini message, an email that was sent to me, an email that was sent to us. It was the email that was sent to us to say that there is going to be a meeting with the following individuals: the one with the minister and the National Commissioner and myself, and the other one with the National Commissioner, myself, and then Minister General Mkhwanazi, and the minister. And in that meeting, the minister actually started opening the meeting, and he indicated the purpose for the meeting, and that we as senior managers, if we really don't find a way of resolving our challenges or our issues, it is South Africans that suffer. And then you would want us to find a way to resolve whatever issues that exist. And then we were okay with the meeting. We shook hands with General Mkhwanazi. We saluted. We left after the meeting.
But you know, in his evidence, he says he doesn't want to shake hands with the current
Minister, Chair, and Honorable Chair and Honorable Members. It was a very matured meeting. There was no fight, because immediately after that meeting, General Mkhwanazi invited me to the Police Excellence Awards.
I think the invite, look at page 164 of the core bundle. 164. That was on the. It's a meeting for the 6th of June. Or have you got 164 of the core bundle? Maybe you tell us what that is.
Yes. Now,
is this after the meeting?
This is after the meeting. The meeting is on page, the previous page.
This is, yeah, from
Yes,
Brigadier Letoko. Letoko is in the office of the National
of
Commission.
the National Commission.
And it's to Leon Avenant, Colonel, National Commissioner, MLC, KZN Provincial Commission. And also copied to you, Mkhwanazi, Sabola, Millicent Chilani, yeah, and the PA for the National Commissioner. Subject, private meeting between the Minister, National Commissioner, DNC, Sibiya, and KZN PC Lt Gen Mkhwanazi. It is dated the 12th of May, 2025. Kindly be informed of the below scheduled meeting of the Minister with NATCOM, DNC, Crime Detection, and PC KZN at Minister's residence in Pretoria. So is that the meeting you refer to?
Yes.
So
Chair.
that meeting you say you shook hands, and your recollection is that was cordial.
It is indeed so, Rokot. I think the meeting was actually on request by General Mkhwanazi himself that there should be this meeting so that we can address the issues that are outstanding. Now, on the 2nd of July, 2025. No, not that one.
No, 164. 164.
Yeah, 164.
Yeah.
I received an invitation signed by the Provincial Commissioner of KZN, General Mkhwanazi, where he says that invitation to the Provincial Excellence Awards KwaZulu-Natal on 6 June. The KwaZulu-Natal province will be hosting the Provincial Excellence Awards to award members and officers who rendered outstanding service on Friday, 6 June 2025 at International Convention Center in Durban. All guests are required to be seated by 17:30. On behalf of the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner, Lt General N.S. Mkhwanazi, you are kindly invited to attend this important meeting event. Please RSVP not later than 2025-0603 to confirm your attendance. Should you wish to have any questions or need further assistance, please contact Colonel Funani at this number or Warrant Officer Stradov at this number. So
did you attend this awards evening?
I did attend.
I take it the National Commissioner was also there.
Chair, I just don't want to make a mistake. I do know that there's one I didn't attend, but this one I don't think I attended. I didn't attend this one. There's one that I attended where it was now with the police. I think it was a National Police Day, but the excellence one I didn't attend. They even made a follow-up whether I'm coming or not, but I was not able to come because the National Commissioner sent me Cape Town, I think.
Okay. And then on, what is that on 165?
Well, on 165,
2nd of July.
Before I get on to this one, Chair, I want to indicate that even subsequent to that meeting with the Minister and General Mkhwanazi, I've shared a stage with General Mkhwanazi when we were going to address the Comrade Marathon colleagues that were going to participate in the Comrade Marathon. It was myself, General Mkhwanazi, and the National Commissioner. This General Mkhwanazi who spoke, then I spoke, then the National Commissioner, giving a message of support to the team. So we've been working together I've been KZN many a times where we were working together. Even on the 4th, the Friday before the 6th of July, I got a call. The National Commissioner sent me to Parliament. I was on my way to Parliament to go and represent the National Commissioner this side. I got a call from General Mkhwanazi. And hello, boss, will you be attending the, will you be coming to Durban? I said, yes, General, I will be there. And then he said, Ubo Chopel, he said, you must let me know because you are the senior manager of the South African Police Service. I must know when you are in the province because you will have a puncture and the next thing you won't know what happened to you. I said, no, General, I will let you know. And then I didn't let him know though, but I went to Durban. So I'm just indicating or rather demonstrating that even on the 4th of July, the eve of the press conference, I spoke to him and I didn't even know and I didn't see it coming actually. Thank you, Chair.
So there's a number of events leading up to the 6th of July, and that includes a private meeting held with the minister where you and him were present. You say you shook hands and you reckon, and there was nothing untoward at that meeting. That was in May. Then in June, you get an invitation to attend a Provincial Excellence Award, and then subsequently you also went to Durban on the 4th of July at his invitation.
No, I didn't go at his invitation.
No, please correct me.
He asked me whether will I be coming to KZN. I said, yes, I will be, because there is this event that normally takes place every July in Durban. So he was asking whether I'll be going, and I said, yes, I'll be there.
And this is after December 2024. This is after your letters that you wrote.
Yeah, that is long after that.
Yeah. Honorable Chair, is this a convenient point to break for lunch, perhaps? Before I go on to a new topic. As you wish, Chair. Yeah. So, before we get to the letter of the 31st of December, do you know Brown Mkhwanazi?
I know Brown Mkhwanazi.
How do you know him?
Brown Mkhwanazi, I know him as an activist in Northwest, but I didn't know him. I also Googled him and I saw him at some point. He was commenting and making it was an interview, but relating to the former Premier and Gauteng, former Premier of Northwest. And he also contacted me. Remember that he would also collect some information there around there or concerns that he had. And then also he ended up also aiding the fact that, look, I just also want to warn you that you must know that the intelligence people are working on you. They are busy in your case after you. I knew about it, and He was just telling me something that I was aware of. And I even spoke to the National Commissioner about it at some point. I said, NASCOM, I just got this strange call from this person. He says he's Brown. I didn't know Brown Mkhwanazi, but he said it's Brown. And then we were leaving his office, and the National Commissioner said, well, let's keep on listening to him and let's hear what he says. And we didn't entertain it further.
What is your relationship, if any, with Brown Mkhwanazi?
Senior Counsel, just before you proceed. General, are you saying that he called you?
You called me, Chair.
And informed you that the intelligence people are listening to you, are investigating you?
Yes, Chair, and that was the case.
Without you having had a discussion with him before about a matter like that?
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
I had not.
But he phoned you?
He did call me.
So his phone will show that? His phone will show that he phoned you?
Yes, the record can indicate that. The records are there, they should be there. Yeah.
So how does he get your number? I mean, a senior person like you in the police, I'm sure a lot of our citizens would want to phone higher up sometimes when they're frustrated because a crime is not being addressed or followed up or solved, and then they want to phone higher up. Now, you don't know this guy?
Counsel, I don't know this guy. I never contacted him before, and you do get it because at this level, you get calls from citizens of this country, and they will tell you that I'm so and so. I've been given your number by so and so and so and so. Sometimes another one will call and say, "How can I get this person?" And then they will phone around. Ultimately, they'll come across your number. Even the ministers, they do get calls from people they least expected from.
So, and there's nothing unusual about that, you said?
It happens all the time, Counsel.
And he also gave you some information that, you know, some people are after you, words to that effect?
That's correct, Chair.
So he peddles information?
If the Counsel put it that way.
Of a political nature?
If the Counsel put it that way, that he will call you and tell you that, hey, Chief, be careful, 1, 2, 3, 4 is happening. And then mine is to see how I deal with this information.
Okay. And did you ever meet him in person?
Yes, twice.
When was that and where?
The very first time when we went to operate in KZ in Durban, January 8th, we were there on official duties.
On?
Official duties.
Yeah.
And then he called and said, "Will you be in Cape Town?" I said, "Yes, I will be there. I will be working." He said, "I'll come greet to the hotel where I was at that time." And he came, greeted me. It was during breakfast, and he left in town.
And where was that? Which hotel was that? In Cape Town?
Yeah, in Cape Town, in town. But it's one of the Southern Sun hotels.
Was that with the January 8th?
Yes.
Yeah. So he was here. Were you also here for the party celebrations on January 8th?
No, I was here on official duties. The top management of the police will be here to run the operations. We are all here, all of us. So you will get a picture when we met. I had the issue of the Camps Bay, but in Camps Bay, it was actually a friend of mine, Malusi Zondo, that I met at Camps Bay Tiger's Mill. They were there also eating, and I said, okay, I'll come and see you, and then greeted and we left.
But why would you give audience to someone you don't know? He must have some kind of influence to access you directly and even to have breakfast with you. Not many people who don't.
No, I can't say really, Chair, I don't have any reason to say, no, I can't see you. You're talking to a person over the phone all the time. You're talking to the person over the phone, and then he tells you and says, will you be there? And I say, yes. I say, I'll come and greet you. I say, it's okay. To me, I didn't see anything wrong.
But he must have dropped a name or two to persuade you to meet him for breakfast.
No, he didn't drop names other than telling me that, Chief, be careful here and there. And then he will give me information. And the information that he gave me, you find that is the information that I know and that I see is happening around me.
So did he give you that information there over breakfast?
No, all the time when we speak, some people you want to avoid, but some people you cannot avoid, because if someone gives you something that you know you may need, you listen to him as and when he calls.
So how many calls did he make to you, more or less? You said you mentioned you spoke to him all the time.
Yeah, at that time it wasn't that many times, but he's the kind of a person that I never mention. And then there's no way I will block him. I will listen to him every time he calls. Because you block the person, the next thing this was the person was going to save you for one or other reasons. I need that information.
So you must have found him to be at least very interesting and someone who's worth listening to, because the information that he was giving you strikes you as stuff that you knew or knew of. And so you were curious, how does this guy know all these things?
You see, my job, Chair and honorable members, I deal with information, I work with information, I work with crime, I deal with crime. I have to get information from all over the country, and whatever information that I get to me helps me.
So again, just you, was the Cape Town breakfast meeting on January 8th or wherever it was, on the eve of January 8th, was that the only time you
actually... He met me only once here in Cape Town. And even when he left, he forgot to pay. And then...
So he peddles information and he must pay for it.
No, he forgot to pay. And then he said to me, hey, I forgot to pay there. Can you pay? I didn't agree to pay because, I didn't know that I was going to have a guest that I must pay breakfast for.
Yeah.
So I didn't pay. He then said he had to come and pay.
So he's some guy. And so during this meeting at breakfast, and you still haven't said how many calls more or less he made to you.
No, when he was here, Chair, it was that one call when he came here, and then from that was it. To greet, and that was it. It's not like we are friends. We are not close to each other.
Does he phone you, or do you phone him, and do you have his number on your phone?
I had his number on my phone. I do have his number on my phone, but many a times he's the one who calls. I don't call.
Okay. And in these calls that he made to you and the meeting he had, did he mention the name of Katma?
He never mentioned. It does happen sometimes when he will talk about the issue of Cat who's been arrested and things that he reads on the newspaper. But I will not really entertain him on such cases, you know.
Do you know Kat Nhlanhla?
I know Kat Nhlanhla.
How do you know him? Have you got a relationship with him?
No. Before I came back to the police, I didn't know Kat. Mr. Nhlanhla. I didn't know Mr. Nhlanhla, and I got to know Mr. Nhlanhla when he called, asking, wanting to meet. And I said, no, come to the office.
When was that call?
The call was around about I can't remember exactly, but I do have the bundle where when they wanted to have a meeting with the lawyer, because they did came. I don't know with my legal team whether we did put. I can show after. I just produced the paperwork. Unless
Can you look at what this is? This is the next to. Thank you, Maria. This is at pages 203 to 205 to your statement. It's not 203, 205. And it's you deal with it in your statement on page 26 from paragraph 81. Page 203, it's SB 14.1.
See, mine is blank, Chair.
Hmm? 203 to 205. They're all blank, or is it just 203?
No, they shouldn't be blank. There is a letter.
Or is it just a really poor print? Just turn over the next page. Sorry, the SB 14.1 is, it just reads, Vusi Nhlanhla, sent on Thursday, the 27th, it's to Major General Sitoli, care of Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, and then Public Works lease. And this is in connection with the lease agreement, Medicare 24, Tshwane District. This is a letter of demand. And then if you go over the page, this is 204 to 205. You see that letter?
Yes, I see the letter.
It's dated the 19th of January 2024, and it's addressed to the National Commissioner. It's on the letterhead of attorneys S.J. Nhlanhla. So the question is, are you aware of that email and the attached letter of demand? And it's, if you look at your page 26 of your statement, perhaps you can just, if that can help you refresh your memory, paragraph 81. Where you say, I know Vusi Nhlanhla as a service provider of the SAPS.
Paragraph 28, page 28.
Page 26.
26.
paragraph 81.
Yes.
Do you want to read from there, or do you want to?
Yes, I do know Vusi Matlala as a service provider of the South African Police Service. He's well known in the South African Police because he was at the time running a hospital at a subs college. As far as I know, he was awarded a healthcare contract at the police. I, however, do not know exactly the detail of the contract because that's between, and then during or about February 2024, when I was acting National Commissioner, Mr. Matlala set up an appointment to visit me at my office. On his visit, Mr. Matlala complained that he has been awarded the tender, but he was not allowed to use the facility and thus not able to deliver in terms of the tender agreement. He also finished me with a letter. He also finished me with a letter addressed to the National Commissioner. And a copy of this letter is attached here to SB 14.1, which is page 203.
Yeah, 204 and 5 is the letter.
Yes. Mr. Matlala also had a letter from Public Works which confirmed that he received a lease agreement to utilize the building. I then consulted with the National Commissioner on the issue, and his response was that Public Works was not going to tell us on how to utilize our building. Mr. Matlala feedback on what had transpired when I had informed the National Commissioner, which I did. I did not know Mr. Matlala before the meeting.
And did you, what happened with these demands? Do you know whether there were any legal proceedings subsequent to the letter of demand?
Not at all. There were no further demand that I'm aware of. What I know is that he kept on working. We met him many times at the college. When there are events at the college, you would have at the stadium where you have your gazebos, you have Metropolitan, Old Mutual, other service providers, gazebos, everyone displaying their own products. And then you will also have Medi 24 where they also do high blood and sugar diabetes tests and all that, things like those. So this is a person who was just known by a lot of generals there and other colleagues. So I knew him.
Okay. May we please take Honorable Sangwe.
Thank you, Chair. No, just clarity, please, General, through you, Chair. On paragraph 81, which is the facility, and then is it interchangeable with the building? So what is this? Is this the college, the hospital? What was he complaining about?
Yeah, you see, every college will have a clinic or clinic, and should one of them fall ill or injured, but you have a hospital where you can go and be attended to. Now he was of the view or feeling that he's not being allowed to access the hospital, but yet he's been given a tender. And at the same time, he's been made to fail because now he's struggling to deliver, but at the same time, services are expected from him, but he's not being allowed to be able to occupy the facility. That was the basis for the complaint.
Are you satisfied, Honorable Member?
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Senior Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And this would have been General Masmola.
Yeah.
And do you know whether it was resolved?
I don't know.
You don't know. And did Mr. Matlala or his attorney contact you again after that?
No. I've never dealt with the matter again in relation to this one.
And is it your evidence you only then met him, had contact with him, interacted with him from time to time, like the other generals
Yes.
in the service at some of these occasions at the college, in his capacity as a service provider.
As a service provider, as a stakeholder, yes.
So how would you describe your relationship with him? Just certainly not as a, yeah, maybe
We are not friends, or we were not friends. But at the same time, I was getting to know him. I wasn't really, it was, if ever I've met, in my whole life, I've met Mr. Nhlanhla, it is 5 times less. It's not someone that I was really close to. It was just the beginning of knowing each other more. So my interactions with him is really very, very, very limited.
let me ask you about, you have seen the affidavit, of Brigadier Kuneni in the search and seizure application. And can I direct your attention to page 20 of the core bundle? It starts at page 1. It's the court order search and seizure access in terms of the Cyber Crimes Act. And on page 3, you'll see this search, access and seizure warrant pertains to Mr. Shadrack Sibiya. And
20.
Sorry?
Page 20.
Yeah, page 20. I'm just giving some introduction to it. And then this is the document that was filed in the High Court. And Annex A to the application is the affidavit of William Sipho Kuneni, Brigadier in the South African Police. He's the head of head of Serious and Violent Crimes Unit in KZN. And then at page 20, from paragraph 34 onwards, or at the top of page 20, it says that, let me go to page 19, paragraph 33, sorry. On 14 May 2025, Nhlanhla was arrested on the Sandton docket, and the police seized his cell phones together with some. Nhlanhla was asked to consent for the search, access, and seizure without a warrant. Nhlanhla agreed and signed the formal consent form, which is attached. Then paragraph 34, Colonel Diezi from the Digital Forensic Investigations Unit forensically searched and accessed Nhlanhla's cell phones in the Sandton docket and prepared a report. The purpose of searching and accessing Nhlanhla's phones was to establish the link in the Sandton docket between the suspects, Musa Kakani and Danny Mobusela on the one hand, and Nhlanhla. Sergeant Satole received the forensic downloads in the report and saw messages that relate to the closure of the PKTT. Sergeant Satole reports directly to Kumalo. The data on Kumalo informed Masemola what was discovered on Nhlanhla's phones. Masemola engaged with Mkhwanazi as a provincial commissioner affected by the decision to disband the team. This culminated in the media briefing of 6 July 2025. Digital evidence extracted from Nhlanhla's devices reveals conversations between him and Mkhwanazi, in which the latter wrote, and I quote, "I have arranged a meeting for Sibiya and the minister. They must have a solution." A further message from Mkhwanazi stated, "The task team that came to your house and harassed you have been dissolved. They got the letter on Monday. As we speak, they are bringing all dockets to Sibiya." Then the the affidavit reads further. "I hasten to add that long before Sibiya issued the instruction for dockets, which were investigated by PKTT to be transferred to Pretoria. Further messages shows that Nhlanhla financially supported Nkunu's political campaign and paid for certain expenses for the direct and indirect benefit of Nkunu."
Okay, Senior Counsel, that will be the last question before we get a break.
Sibiya, you'll have some time to ponder on this and respond when we get back from lunch. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
No, if he so wishes, he can respond and we break. And if he feels he wants to respond after break, you are still welcome, General.
May I suggest that I will read it in its totality so that I can then be ready to respond. Thanks.
You are allowed. Do you want to respond now or when we come back?
I thought when we come back, because I was going to have a chance now to go through it.
Okay.
Thanks.
That's okay. No, we are breaking for 30 minutes, honorable members.